Last season, the Knicks exceeded expectations, going from 11th place in the East in 2022 to 5th place last season. There was also a new star that emerged in the Big Apple, as first-year Knick Jalen Brunson broke out and arguably became the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. Then they upset the 4th-seeded Cavs in the first round of the playoffs as well. The Knicks are back, and the NBA is always more fun when they're good. All in all, it was an amazing season for them. Jalen Brunson looked like the best Knick since Carmelo Anthony, if not even better. Julius Randle made his second All-NBA team in 3 seasons. RJ Barrett really stepped up in the playoffs and looked like the second best player there. Josh Hart became an immediate fan favorite when acquired mid-season, and people came back around and decided they might actually like head coach Tom Thibodeau. They were very good, but if we're being honest, they weren't true contenders. When we entered the playoffs, most people thought of the top 3 seeds, Milwaukee, Boston, and Philadelphia, as the real contenders. Then the Cavs and Knicks were a step below that. Ironically enough, the 8th-seeded Heat ended up representing the conference in the finals, and showed once again just how unpredictable the NBA truly is. But can the Knicks take a step and emerge as serious contenders in 2024? Some people certainly think so. ESPN's Bobby Marks even picked them to make the finals this season. They brought in Donte DiVincenzo this offseason to make it 3 former Villanova teammates on the roster. And funnily enough, despite trading away Obi Toppin, they did bring in his brother Jacob Toppin as an undrafted free agent. I sneakily like the addition of Dylan Windler as well, who can really space the floor. Barrett is coming off a good FIBA World Cup as well. Quentin Grimes and Immanuel Quickley could both be even better, and Brunson should make his first All-Star game this season. The New York Knicks could be even better this season than they were last year. Now let's take a deeper look at why. Before we get into the return of one of the NBA's more storied franchises, if you enjoy my content and watch a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 91% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you're watching before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. The New York Knicks are one of the most polarizing teams in all of sports. There will always be people rooting on their downfall, and they'll get a ton of media coverage if they're just even okay. But this season, they'll be better than okay. They'll be very good. Thibodeau teams do have a tendency to be overworked through the year, so you could worry about fatigue with this team, especially considering 2 of the best players in Brunson and Barrett spent this summer playing in the World Cup, as did Josh Hart. However, this team has a lot of good players and have high-quality depth that can help them avoid fatigue. We saw the Knicks fall off in 2022 after a surprising 2021, but I don't expect to fall off after last season's impressive performance. The team is relatively young, and many of the key players will be even better this season. A full season of Hart will be great, and adding DiVincenzo on top of that is even better. Honestly, I like adding all these former college teammates because it makes building chemistry even easier. I expect the Knicks to be even better this season than they were last year, but that depends on the players, so let's take a look at the impact guys for New York. When talking about the Knicks, you have to start with the new king of New York, Jalen Brunson. Over 4 seasons with the Mavericks, he averaged 12 points per game and wasn't a full-time starter until the 2022 season. But he looked like a star in the 22 playoffs, and the Knicks gave him a big contract because of it. Many called it an overpay, but after just 1 season, it already looks like it could be an underpay if anything. I won't give his full season stats because they don't even tell the peak he reached, although they are good. Instead, I'll look after we hit the 2023 calendar year. After January 1st, he put up 28 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds per game, while shooting 46% from 3. He was phenomenal and just a dominant isolation scorer. He continued to look like a star in the playoffs, and was hands down the team's best player. He eliminated the Cavs and gave the Knicks their first series win in 10 years. He's one of the best point guards the Knicks have ever had, and he really might be the best one in the Eastern Conference right now. A lot of people seem to dislike Julius Randle, but his performance on the court can't be denied. He made his second All-NBA team in 3 years last season, and was the Knicks' lone All-Star as well. He's a very good player on the offensive end of the floor. Last season, he averaged 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. He hasn't been able to match the 41% from 3 he had in that magical 2021 season, but he's found other ways to fill it up. The 55% from 2 last season was impressive given the amount of mid-range and contested jumpers he takes. The shot selection can be frustrating at times, and there seemed to be a genuine hatred between him and Knicks fans in 2022, but I'd say he's back in the team's good graces. Then we should talk about the number 3 overall pick from 2019, RJ Barrett. He's gotten a lot of flack over the years, and it almost seems as if people try to make him out to be a bad player. But I'll say it right now, RJ Barrett is a good NBA player. He's also just 23 years old and still has that star level upside. He was the 3rd option last season and averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. But he was at his best on the biggest stage, and he really lit it up against the Heat in round 2. In that series, he put up 21 points per game and shot 38% from 3. He's been an inefficient player in his career, but what he did against Miami was a very good sign. It's not super appreciated, but he's also a very good defensive player. He played well with Canada this summer as well, and could emerge as the 2nd best player this season. Then we can talk about last year's 6th Man of the Year runner-up, Immanuel Quickley. He averaged 15 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal per game. For a score-first player, he was also pretty efficient last season. He shot 45% from the field and 37% from 3. He stepped up big for the Knicks on many occasions, and I'm excited to see what he'll look like in year 4. Talking about younger guys for the team, I also really like Quentin Grimes. His role was increased last season, and he did a good job. He wasn't asked to be some high-level scorer, but he hit shots and played great defense. He averaged 11 points per game and shot 39% from 3 last season. He started 66 of his 71 games played, and it's clear that Coach Tibbs really likes what Grimes brings to the floor. Then we should talk about the 2 key Villanova role players. We can start with the one that was there last year, Josh Hart. He's the perfect example of a New York kind of guy, and fans both related to him and loved watching him play. He became a fan favorite almost as soon as he was acquired last season. He's one of the best rebounding guards of the 21st century. With the Knicks last year in 25 games, he averaged 10 points and 7 rebounds per game while shooting an insane 52% from 3. Then we can turn to free agent addition Donte DiVincenzo. Last season with the Warriors, he put up 9 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal per game while shooting 40% from 3. He emerged as a very key role player for Golden State last season and should do the same with New York this year. In terms of lineup, the starters should be Brunson, Grimes, Barrett, Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Then the second unit should be Quickley, Hart, DiVincenzo, Isaiah Roby, and Isaiah Hartenstein. Guys like Deuce McBride, Dylan Windler, and Nathan Knight could get some minutes as well. So what should we expect from the Knicks in 2024? On the low end, they could finish somewhere around 5 or 6 in the East and enter the playoffs without home court advantage again. On the high end, they could be a top 3 seed and enter the postseason as legitimate contenders. It'll be an uphill battle, but they could win the East if all goes well for them. They're filled with elite defenders and shooters and have 2 high-level scorers as well. Expect 2 All-Stars in Jalen Brunson and 1 of Randle or Barrett to make it as well. They'll be extremely fun this season, and MSG will be packed for nearly every home game. They could be even better this season than last. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.